And now,
it's 10 a.m.
Let's just get down to it.
And it's time for your sports fix.
Strap yourselves in, folks.
From two guys who have covered the teams you're passionate about for years.
We are professionals.
This is Jake Scott and Ben Anderson on 97.5 The KSL Sports Zone.
It's Jacob at 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Ben's vacation continues on. We hope he's having a great time. Nice enough to join the show right out of the gate is my guy, Hans Olsen. Of course, here from noon to 3 is also the color analyst for the BYU football radio broadcast. Not to mention my friend. Hi, Hans.
Well, I heard the music. I want to check in on you first. How are you doing with the loss?
You know what? It's interesting because you know me that I've got kind of an old soul when it comes to music. So all these artists that I like have been passing away over the last 10 or 15 years, and it's sad. But you know what's cool about music is and you can say this about all sorts of different art, but and even sports to a certain extent is it lives on. The legacy of Ozzy Osbourne and what he did for rock music and all that sort of thing is pretty cool because it lives on in sports radio bumpers for eternity, which is kind of a cool legacy to live on the world if you think about it.
What I've found, though, is it is weird, like the passing of certain celebrities or athletes or superstars, some hit different. Like for me, Kobe Bryant, for one reason or the other, it hit really hard. Same with Chris Cornell. On the music end of things, Chris Cornell was my absolute all-time favorite voice that I've ever listened to in all of music, and it's just weird because they some of these guys or some of these women that you grow up listening to or watching, and they pass, and you're like, "Geez, man, this one's brutal." Arturo Gatti was the one for me on the sports side. That was just brutal, boxing legend. One of my favorite trilogies all time was Arturo Gatti and Mickey Ward. It was a 3-fight series that, I mean, it just set the standard of all boxing. It was so incredible. So it's just weird, Ozzy goes down and a lot of people are affected.
I know you will never forget February 2nd of last year when we lost the great Carl Weathers. You two had a complicated history.
Yeah, we did. We had a little back and forth on Twitter many, many years ago, and I asked him to come on the show through Twitter, and he did not decline, and he did not accept.
No,
he ignored. And that's what hurt the most, Jake.
Okay, wait. I've got something special just for you to lead off the show, and I'm gonna set it up, and then we're gonna play some sound bites. All right. Hans, you have, knowing you as long as I have, you have an appreciation for awkward humor, and you've leaned into that throughout your career. And at the beginning, when you first started with John and Hans, you guys even did a bit. Do you remember this? Great moments in sports radio history where you took everybody's most awkward low moments on the station and then replayed them in competitive fashion. And there was one particular one. Well, you remember like our boy Jim got the outcome of the game wrong when interviewing Ron McBride. He goes congratulations on the win.
Yeah.
And then Coach Mac's like, no, Jim, we lost that game. And you guys replayed it, and it really was funny. But I remember it got me called into our boss's office at the time, and he said, why in the hell? And he didn't curse that often, so it was notable. He said, why in the hell are we playing our worst moments again for everybody to listen to? And the answer is, and I don't know, I don't think I told him this at the time, and not to disagree with the great Alan Haig, but the answer is, it's really funny. And a great part about radio is it is endearing. So, and it makes it more human, right? And less robotic. And it's why it is funny. So I had one of those moments yesterday, and I know you enjoy them more than most. But I figure we got to take a walk down memory lane with you before we get to me. Does that sound all right?
Yeah, well, I don't think I have many mistakes, but yeah.
No, you have some good ones. In fact, you had some with Jerry Sloan going back that are if we could ever find them, they just when you kept bringing up San Antonio for some reason. Do you remember that? But San Antonio,
I don't.
You need to get a better memory. I love all this stuff, but this one might be my favorite because I was there. I give you Mike Yam.
I love it. The Pac-12 Network's going to run with a few of these things. Mike Yam on with us. So, Mike,
Yogi Roth there.
I love that, though.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you.
Yogi Roth on with us.
I'm so excited you found that. That's so funny.
The bad thing is Mike Yam was walking right behind Yogi, and I looked at Mike, and I'm talking to Yogi, and honestly, the two are essentially twins. I mean, both of them
really
were
not.
Just a voice, and it's like, oh, here we are with Mike Yam. Oh, okay, Yogi, whatever. Yogi, you could be Mike. So here we go.
All right. So I figure we play that, which was amazing. But tell me what you think about this one that I had. We had Eric Pincus from Bleacher Report on yesterday, and I made a really bad joke, and it basically ended the interview. All right, you ready?
Oh boy.
Okay, let's play it. Christian and I have a pool going on who the Clippers' next signing would be, and I said Tim Hardaway Sr. Sorry, I had to get that joke in. Eric, you are great. Thank you very much for jumping on with us. We love your stuff. We'll continue to follow.
Oh. What the heck? That's funny.
I thought it was.
That's actually really funny. That is funny. He couldn't even laugh? I mean, he just, and that was it?
That was it. That was the end.
Oh, did you hear what Lloyd did yesterday?
I did hear what Lloyd did yesterday. You guys had a Ron Burgundy moment. You didn't get the subtlety. I did hear that.
You did hear about this.
I heard about it. Yeah, Lloyd told me today.
No, Jake. No. I don't know. You must have heard it from Lloyd's mouth. There was no subtlety. None. There was nothing funny. There was nothing inventive. There was nothing creative. It was just Lloyd being a complete jackass. I'm telling you. Scotty and I are knees deep in this NFL interview, and we're loving it. And one of us asked the Las Vegas Raiders question, and a sincere question. I was talking about Besh, who they drafted out of the Big 12, and I wanted to know about their running back situation and if Geno Smith could do it and new coach and how it was going to work. And he's answering it, but he's not overly positive. And Scotty and I are on remote, so we don't have the eye indicators or, the hands or being able to see him smile. And all we get in our ear is, all right, wrap it. We'd been on with him for probably, 7 or 8 minutes. And he's just, all right, wrap it. And we thought, he must have told Lloyd that he could only do 8 or 10 minutes. And so Scotty abruptly ends it. Like, he gets done with the question, and he's like, all right, Frank, thanks, bye. And Frank's like, well, okay, see you guys. And Lloyd in our ear goes, guys, I wasn't serious. I'm like, we can't see. What are you talking about? You weren't serious. How are we supposed to know? We just wrapped it up with Frank Schwab, who's one of my favorite NFL analysts. And I was going to ask him about the Donald Trump, forced the name. And Scotty had some questions about, I can't remember, Tennessee or something. Like, we'd had all these questions lined up, and he was gone. Because Lloyd goes, wrap it. And it was like forceful.
It was a joke about the Raiders, right? Where, ha, 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 I don't want to talk about the Raiders.
Apparently. But we, Scotty wrapped it immediately. And Frank was like, oh, okay, bye.
That kind of reminds me of when I read the copy of the sound I was supposed to throw to, and it said Pro Bowler. It said Pro Bowler Gary Clark. And I asked Lloyd, I said, Lloyd, what does this have to do with football? What does bowling have to do with football? And Lloyd, who wasn't listening, of course, was like, I don't know, just play the clip. And we play a clip, and it's, of course, former NFL Pro Bowler Gary Clark. But yeah,
Lloyd's got more of them than...
You know what? I side with you, dude.
Lloyd's got more of them than anybody. Honestly, if people knew,
well,
Lloyd's got more of them than anybody.
I think we've got to play the best ever. I mean, the GOAT, right? I think we can agree on this. And by the way, shout out to the great Austin Horton, a person who I love dearly and who's killing it in life. But he had a bad interview on the Saturday show with a member of the Wheelin' Jazz.
When we come back on the other side, we're going to talk with Jeff Griffin, the greatest wheelchair basketball player to ever walk the earth. And I can say that because I've met the man. Let's jump out to the phone line and talk to our very good friend, Jeff Griffin, the greatest wheelchair basketball player to ever roll the earth. Jeff, I'm sorry for my little faux pas there before we went to break. Everyone's having a lot of fun with it. How are you, my man?
Hey, I am doing great. I was listening to that myself, and I'm like, I wish I could walk. Thanks for reminding me of the situation I'm in.
I'm such a good friend. I know.
I'm totally joking with you. That's quite all right. Hey, I'll walk, I'll roll. That doesn't matter. That's how I roll.
First things first. You're walking up here on the end of the wheelchair season. How's that going for you?
I wish it was going better. This was always a rebuilding season.
Oh, I love you, Austin.
He couldn't stop using the word walk.
Can't you get it in your head?
I know Jeff, and Jeff will let it all slide off, and he has got the greatest personality and the greatest sense of humor, and he's just such a great competitor. So
he was so funny. He was so funny in that clip. He was really...
Yeah, thanks for reminding me of the situation, man, Austin. I can't walk. Here we are walking up to the end of the season.
No, listen, I totally can relate to that, though, because in the headlines, like Devin Dampier, for some reason in my brain is Eric Dampier. So the other day I'm like, oh, Eric Dampier's going to have a great year. It's like you're talking about the 50-year-old center who used to play for the Mavericks. This job is so funny because when you make a mistake and look stupid, you look stupid in front of everybody, and the only thing you can do is really laugh.
I want to know why this guy got so upset about the Hardaway Senior comment.
Let's play that again. I don't know either. He just didn't find it funny. I thought it was really funny. Tim Hardaway Sr. Again. All right, let's play it again. Of course, you see him on PTI. He is a dang legend. He's Woody Page with us here on the Jake and Ben Show on 97.5 That's KSL
not what I wanted to hear.
I'm on around the horn, not pardon the interruption.
Oh, you stink, Christian. No, it's...
No problem.
Oh, my gosh. That was a good one, Jake.
It was not. That was too soon.
That was a good one.
That was...
Christian, do you have the one of Jake calling the general manager of the Mammoth Richie Cunningham? Because
Unfortunately, I did scrub that from existence because I didn't know I was supposed to keep it at that point. So at that time, I was pretty new to this role. I was protecting Jake from
joining us now
teased.
live from the Utah Mammoth to give us the NHL updates is general manager Richie Cunningham. Richie, thanks for joining us.
I don't want to hear about the one where I misidentified the Bees manager. I don't want to hear that one either. And I still suspect foul play on that one. I'm looking at Lloyd across the glass. He's shaking his head. Yeah. Suspect foul play.
Lloyd better just keep himself quiet in the booth right now because his gaffe yesterday wrecked the show. It left us all in shambles, and I doubt we ever get Frank Schwab back on because Frank was so abruptly ended. Like I guarantee he got hung up on and was like, oh, what did I do wrong? Because Scotty was like, bye, Frank. And it was like over. And we're like, well, that's awkward because it was 2:17 and we still had, 8 minutes or so in the break or before the break, and we're looking at each other like, all right, well, let's just bring the client on, I guess, and we'll get going.
Did I tell you the time? Because I want to ask you a BYU question before we run out of time. But did I tell you the time that I put the BYU athletic director on hold for a half an hour? I was producing or interning. I can't remember. I think I was interning on Hatch's show. And I'm answering phones, right? I'm screening phone calls, and Hatch is talking about something. And the guy says, "Yeah, I want to talk on the show." And I said, "Okay." And he goes, "I go, what's your name?" And he says, "Val." And I said, "Oh, Hal? Okay, Hal." Hang on. He was on hold. This is back when we took lots of callers. He was on hold for a half an hour, and Hatch probably finally gets to him. He's like, "Let's go to Hal. Hal in Utah County, Hal." And he goes, "Yeah, this is BYU athletic director Val Hale, actually."
Oh, my gosh. Oh, Val is the best. That's a good
he
one
was
to make
so
a mistake
kind.
on.
He was so kind to me. Oh, he was so. I have nothing but good things to say about that man, because that could have cost me my job, honestly.
Yeah, he's one of the most generous human beings on earth, for sure.
This is Val. Okay, Hal, hold on. We'll get to you.
That's better than some of the callers that Christian and I took that were just terrible. Just terrible.
You know what I blame on that is all on Ajay. That is all on Ajay. The world's worst call screener.
Or whatever bum Lloyd put on the board for those shows, because Lloyd just would take anybody off the street and be like, "Hey, do you want to come run a board?" Because it's a weekend show and you're like, "Hey, want to run a board?" One time, Jake, we thought we were on air for 30 minutes and the person did not have us on air. 30 minutes. I'm getting texts or tweets that's like, it's dead air. I'm looking like, well, we've been going for 25 or 28 minutes. Are we not on air? Oh, shoot, no. No, dang it. It's like, oh, my gosh, we got to be at least on air. Like, somebody press a button and get us going here.
Okay, nothing beats maybe my favorite Hans Olsen post-game moment ever. And that's saying something, because you've done you did those for a lot of years. But we had the remote at JCW's, and some of these games go so late, people have to go home.
Yeah.
And
oh, dude, this is
and I think it was Mike Elisa, wasn't it? Where you went outside of JCW's in the parking lot and sat in your car and did the show, and someone called in. Someone called in and goes, "Hey, I just drove by JCW's. Are you guys sitting in your car doing the show right?"
And we were. JCW's parking lot, shoulder to shoulder. Me, Mike, Elisa. We had the moat box because we had a small charge. Again, it's just, one of those things. Weekend radio. Not a lot of details.
Oh, radio. Radio in general. How much zany stuff. I still want to do. We should figure it out. Do a podcast where we talk about all the banana stuff that we have to do in this industry throughout the years, especially back in the Simmons days where we had no resources.
Oh, the duct tape and baling twine we used just to stay on air was unbelievable. Unbelievable.
The bubbling tub of love. I mean, that story needs to be told.
I don't want to talk about that. Kurt can go to hell. Like that's the dumbest promotion.
Hey, I was program director at the time, and I said this is a bad idea. I said that. I expressed my opinion. Okay, it was Valentine's Day, and Hans and John Lund did the show from a hot tub on was it on the side of the road or something like that? It was
on Main Street. On Main Street,
and Hans
with two zone girls,
which we could never get away with today. But Hans decided, man, I'm going to have my shirt off for this thing. I better get my tan on, and you did the spray tan,
which did a spray tanner.
So it was just nothing but orange bubbles, and Hans stood up, and he was pasty white from the nipples down.
It was horrible. I was tan from about the pepperonis up. I was tan, and then from down it was like I was strawberry and cream, and what was the worst is the brown bubbles started floating over towards the zone girls and towards Lund because I was in the furthest corner. And the girls are like, ew, what's going on? And they're like pushing the brown bubbles away from them. I'm just like, and when I stood up, everybody's like, oh. It's him.
We could write dude, we could
on
write
Main Street.
We could write a book about Manland. that promotion alone could be a whole book.
Oh man, we wrecked that house. I guarantee it's still not sold.
No.
But having Sean Bradley have to tell one of the Manland attendants to leave was like, and dude, that whole thing.
Oh, you broke his heart. That's our guy Bruce. You smashed his poor delicate heart.
And Sean Bradley ragdolling Gunther was just the best.
Incredible. Because Gunther was still in his offensive line weight, if you recall. And Sean,
oh yeah,
you don't like. Sean is kind of gangly, I guess. Well, not I guess, but you don't understand how just giant and strong that he is, and he absolutely manhandled Gunther and pulled up. Remember his Harley?
Oh yeah, his Harley was incredible.
Was the size of a semi.
Absolutely. I just talked to Sean the other day, man.
How's he doing?
I love that guy. He's doing good. He's in Dallas. He's living back in Dallas, and he's getting all the help and the attention and care and love that he could possibly get, but he's doing good.
He is. I'm with you. He is one of the good ones, that's for sure. All right, well, switching gears, I do want to ask you who's going to start at quarterback for BYU, because the Athletic thinks it's going to be Hillstead. I want to know who Hans thinks it's going to be.
Yeah, I think it's going to be Hillstead. I think it's Hillstead's job to lose. But, Jake, I've got some concerns with BYU football right now. I've got some concerns, but I've got some optimism. And really, the main concern is right there. It's the perfect question. And I think it's going to be McKay Hillstead. But then I've got other concerns because the trench is going to be depleted and then maybe rejuvenated. We'll see how this works out. But I don't think people quite understand the extent that both sides of the trench have been depleted. When you end up losing, I'm just looking at my notes from the Houston game. I've got my boards here in front of me from the BYU versus Houston game. And your starting front was Isaiah Banya, John Nelson, Blake Mengelson, Tyler Batty. And your rotators were Josh Singh and Luke Tuomatai on the interior. And I'm just looking at your offensive line. It was Braden Keim, Caleb Etienne, and Connor Pay. All of these guys are gone. Caleb Etienne ended up being your best and most consistent offensive lineman. Waylon Lapuahu is back, but Connor Pay was, when he was healthy, he missed a couple of games, but when Connor Pay was in, Connor Pay was the absolute boss of the entire offensive line. He was the nucleus of it all. And you're losing these offensive linemen and you're losing these defensive linemen. Now, here's the optimism that I'm talking about. You're going to be replacing those D tackles with Keanu Tanavasa and Justin Kirkland. These are two proven entities inside the Big 12. Keanu had health issues from time to time. I think he played 6 games or 7 games last year, and maybe 4 or 5 games the year before. So Tanavasa has to stay healthy, but he'll be an absolute force. Justin Kirkland is like 330, 340 pounds, Jake. He's a gigantic dude. And so he's much different than a guy like Blake Mengelson, who was a vertical guy, and he was a playmaker, and he could get pressure and force the pocket. Justin Kirkland, you're not going to run on him. It's going to make it tougher to run, but I've got questions. And then defensive ends, you've seen it, Jake, that there has been no production in sacked from BYU's defensive ends. And this year, it's a combination of Bodie Schoonover, Vial Maipua, Orion Maila-Kufusa, John Latui, Tausili Akana, Ephraim Asiata, and Hunter Clegg. And it's kind of a mixture of those 6 or 7 names. They've got to figure out how to use them and how to gain production. And those are names that I don't think are household names. I don't think many people probably even knew maybe 1 or 2 names that I just said. And you got to find production out of these guys. So I've got concerns even outside of the quarterback situation, Jake. There's a lot of questions
for BYU's offensive and defensive fronts. But I'm optimistic that the transfer portal players they've brought in can certainly play a big role to stabilize it.
Hans, Hans, my face hurts from laughing so hard. I can't thank you enough. I know you've got to drive to Spanish Fork, so I really appreciate you doing this this morning. Thanks, Hans. We'll be listening.
All right, thanks, Jake. See you.
All right, see you, buddy. That's the great Hans Olsen. He and Scotty coming up from noon to 3. And yeah, I love those hilarious radio moments that do not involve me. By the way, Christian, way to ambush me with the Woody Page thing. That was dirty pool.
I had to do it.
No, you didn't.
I had to.
You
Lloyd
quite
was right
literally
here.
didn't.
I had to show off for Lloyd.
Oh, whatever. Lloyd buries every embarrassing thing he's ever done. Can't wait to play the Woody Page thing. Let's get that up. Lame. I did think the Pincus thing was awkward yesterday. And he was a good interview. I hated to end it that way because I thought it was really engaging. I hope he's willing to come back on.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. I know. You worked hard to get the interview. I ruined it with one stupid joke at the end. Join Hans and Scotty at Bar W Beef, their pop-up event at IFA and Spanish Fork from noon to 3. Your chance to stock up on those summer barbecues with premium Bar W Beef meats. See you at IFA in Spanish Fork for Bar W Beef, their special pop-up sale. Top 3 stories of the day at KSLSports.com. Coming up next is Jake and Ben, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
It's time to break down the biggest stories of the day. This is the top 3 stories of the day on KSLSports.com. 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Jake and Ben, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Oh, I didn't mean to type that there. It's time for the top 3 stories of the day at KSLSports.com, brought to you by J. Brooks Jewelers. Cherish your love with J. Brooks Jewelers. Explore their expertly crafted engagement rings made from the finest materials. J. Brooks Jewelers. All right, Christian, where do you want to start today?
Number 1, he's the Flippin MVP.
Headlines are getting better, Christian. I like that. Next stop, New York Post for our guy, Christian. Kyle Filipowski is the Summer League MVP. And he did. He played great in Summer League. 29.3 points per game. He shot 56%, 39 from 3, and he also grabbed 7.5 boards. So Flip had a great Summer League. We've talked about it a lot on this show. I don't think his offensive skill is going to be what limits him when the regular season comes around. But I think we saw the fact that he's gotten better, and he really had a great rookie season last year. I mean, considering where the Jazz drafted him and expectations for him coming in, for him to have the year that he did was quite impressive. And then followed up with the Summer League is probably nothing but a good sign for Kyle Filipowski. We talked about this. There were players that really had good Summer Leagues. Cody Williams had a really good Summer League. Bryce Sensabaugh's Summer League appearance was brief, but that was because he proved what he had to, that he was way above playing in the summer anymore, and he did just that. So I would guess that the brass over there thinks Summer League was useful this year, and certainly you're going into the season with Kyle Filipowski thinking that he's used the offseason wisely and is getting better. So MVP for Flip. All right, what's next?
Number 2, Travis Hansen joins BYU's athletic department as a senior associate athletic director.
Going to be kind of a GM type, right? As far as I understand it, working with the NIL. Travis was on earlier this morning with David James. If you want to check out that, you can get it wherever you get your podcasts. Yeah, Travis, I've loosely known Travis for a long time. I met him producing DJ and PK when he would come on with them way back then. And he's always been a sharp, outspoken guy, which is why I'm so disappointed by this hire. Because now when he comes on the air, he's not going to be he's not going to say anything. Because anytime these guys get hired, all of a sudden the lid goes on and they have to come on and say the right things. So, you know, you can be happy for Travis. You can be happy for BYU. But this stinks for the station, and specifically DJ and PK. So from all of us, thanks a lot, Travis. Thanks a lot.
Travis is great. I've produced a couple DJ PK shows where they had Travis on, and he still, like, even before today, I had talked to him, I think, once previously, and he, like, remembers me and stuff. So that means a lot, and that just shows, I mean, obviously he's a great person, and everybody knows that.
Oh, he's a great dude with a ton of personality. Obviously, you don't remember when he played at BYU, but he was a big part of the rivalry because he had a lot of personality, and he was easy to cheer for Cougar fans and easy to be a lightning rod for Utah fans. And that translates, that type of personality translates into a fascinating radio guest. And now he's going to be boring. So that stinks. And, of course, he is cool, and he will know I'm just joking. But we love it when he has a chance to come on the station. And now he's taken his talents to the university in a different capacity, which probably he was kind of doing some of this stuff before, of course. He was a big reason that Yegor, or how did Ben tell us we have to pronounce it now? Ben is a stickler.
Diomen.
Ben's a stickler to pronunciations. But bringing him to Provo. So good luck to Travis, and he's a sharp dude, so it wouldn't surprise me if he succeeded, not one bit. All right,
go
next.
Cougs.
Thank
Number
you
3.
for that. What did I do to you, Christian? All of a sudden, you're ambushing me with embarrassing moments and then dropping in "Go Cougs." What did I do to you?
It's a BYU story.
All right.
Number 3, Roll Tide.
No, now I need more enthusiasm than that.
Roll Tide.
No, come on.
Roll Tide.
That was pretty good. You even got there was like a little Southern in there. That was pretty terrific. It's always big news when a local quarterback goes to a big time school, whether it's locally here or somebody who goes to the SEC. I remember Cottonwood what was his name? He ended up back at Utah. Had a quarterback go to Alabama a long time ago. Well, let's see. Orem quarterback Tayden Kaawa, I hope I said that right. I know I did not, has committed to Alabama. 6'5", 225 quarterback, originally from Molokai, Hawaii, chooses the Crimson Tide over BYU. And, with Kalen DeBoer as the quarterback or as the head coach at Alabama, maybe that's a good move for him to go and succeed. And right now the SEC has the most spotlight on it. And if you want to make it to the NFL, if you succeed in the SEC, there's probably a good chance you're going to get drafted. So, but as always with these big commitments, Christian, who on earth knows who they'll actually end up playing for?
Yeah, we just saw we had a writer on with DJ this morning from Tulane talking about how Tulane's head coach recruited Jake Retzlaff when he left the JUCO ranks.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, maybe if this kid ever enters the portal down the line, BYU could be a factor if they were in on him previously.
And Kalani has been pretty good about that. He's talked about it publicly where, he doesn't burn any bridges with anyone, and because relationships matter and it can easily come back around. I remember Bronco Mendenhall back in the day. I'm sure he's changed his tune, but he would drop offers even if you visited. He would drop commitments if you visited another school after your commitment to BYU. Does that make any sense? Even if you took a visit at a different school, he was, well, you're dead to me. And that obviously isn't the way to go anymore. I mean, with transfer rules basically being non-existent, that type of thing doesn't.
I wonder if he still does that now.
Oh, I'm sure he does not. I mean, how could you, really? That player could be on your team tomorrow. You know what I mean? So, anyway, big ups to Tayden. That's a big deal going over to commit to Alabama. And, yeah, if you were considering BYU, I'm sure A-Rod is saying, good luck, and if it doesn't work out, Provo's really nice. All right, stay tuned. We'll have more coming up next. It's the Jake and Ben Show, 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone.
Whether it's the Jazz, Utes, Cougars, or Aggies, these guys have got you covered.
Time to eat, fellas.
You're locked on to Jake Scott and Ben Anderson.
1, 2, 3, move it.
On 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone.
Jake and Ben, 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone. Jake Scott, Ben Anderson. By the way, programming note, we will be off tomorrow for the 24th of July, mainly because Christian and myself are going to be walking in the parade. No big deal. But we will be back on Friday. And the rumor is that Ben will also be back on Friday. So we look forward to that. We started off the show today talking to Hans Olsen. We're actually going to talk to Drake Toll coming up next. He is the host of Locked On Big 12. He's going to jump on the show. We've had him on before. So stay tuned for that coming up. When we had Hans on, though, we talked about embarrassing moments on the radio. It's one of the downsides of this job, but it is quite funny. When you mess up, everybody knows about it, and then everybody has a good chuckle, and it's embarrassing for everyone. And it was inspired by the way that our interview ended yesterday with Eric Pincus, which was awkward. I thought that this was a funny joke, and apparently Eric did not. Let's play that now. Christian and I have a pool going on who the Clippers' next signing would be, and I said Tim Hardaway Sr. Sorry, I had to get that joke in. Eric, you are great. Thank you very much for jumping on with us. We love your stuff. We'll continue to follow.
All right, anytime. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Tim Hardaway Sr. Come on. Come on. Anyway, so we started playing all these funny moments, and then we were talking about funny stories from sports radio history. BYU Mullet Head on the Snap Talk snaps in. He says, the 911 call by Hans was funny. Had to get a pie in him. And yeah, the 911 call was funny. Let's play that.
911, what's the address of your emergency?
I'm about a half mile north of the 33rd South exit on the I-15.
What exit, sir?
The 33rd South.
Okay, I need you to calm down, sir. What's the problem?
There's a full-size laser on the I-15. It's going to kill somebody. You got to get the traffic stopped and get out of here and remove this debris.
I'm sorry. Did you say a rattler's on your knee?
No, I said clear the debris. It's a ladder, like the thing you climb on. You paint houses or a barn or a place of business. Listen, you guys got to hurry. Cars are driving over this thing, and it's going to roll a car.
We have a unit in motion. Are you okay, sir?
Yeah, I'm okay. Listen, I haven't eaten since 10 o'clock, so my blood sugar and triglycerides are a little bit off, but I've got half of a Sara Lee pocket in my car, and I'll eat that. I'll get that in my system.
Do you need roadside assistance, sir?
No, I just need to eat this pie.
Units are closed. Stay on the line until they arrive.
I'm going to pass out if I don't eat something. I got to get this in my system. Look, I'll wait around until some of these units arrive, but I got to get this pie in me.
I suggest you wait on the line, sir.
Hey, you got to get on the road, sir. Hey, don't go on the road. You stay.
Sir, I need you to calm down. I need you to stay with me.
I'm sorry. I can't wait. I'm not going to make it if I don't get this pie in me.
Man needed to eat a pie. A Sara Lee pie. Are you a fan of those? It's a very specific pie that I would believe that Hans has a lot of.
They're all right.
They're nothing special.
Aren't those like the freezer ones?
Yeah. What's better? Is the Hostess pie still around? What's better, the Hostess one or the Sara Lee one?
I don't think I've ever had a Hostess one.
Or the one you get at McDonald's.
Oh yeah, those are pretty good. When they used to be deep fried. Now they're baked, so they're not as good.
They're not as good anymore? Well, that's disappointing. But yeah, Hans, passionate. Got to get this pie in me. Yeah, there's so many funny ones. And I love playing them all as long as they don't involve me. The ones that involve me hurt every time.
That's how it is, right?
Every single time. I love playing other people's mistakes and laughing at them. But yeah, the ones that involve me.
I wish I kept Bill Cunningham. That is like my biggest regret.
No. I'm so happy you did not.
Lloyd, actually, of the many things I've almost been fired over, not keeping that is one that Lloyd almost cut me for.
Well, it was the first smart decision Lloyd's made. Yeah, I think you did a tremendous job. I think you do a tremendous job. Except when you ambush me with stuff. We had a plan before the show, and then I get ambushed with Woody Page. What the heck, Christian? Even when Ben's not here, you take his side.
you want to dish it out, you got to take it sometime.
All right. Stay tuned. Let's do a giveaway. That's a great idea. All right. Caller number 12 right now, 801-575-ZONE. It's a Win Ticket Wednesday. We're hooking you up 2 tickets to go see Jason Aldean, the Full Throttle Tour with special guests Nate Smith, Raylan, and DJ Silver, July 26th at Utah First Credit Union Amphitheater. I almost called him DJ Sliver, which would not be the right person and would be another embarrassing moment. But anyway, those tickets are awesome. Call in right now, 801-575-ZONE, and go see the show at Utah First Credit Union Amphitheater. All right, 801-575-ZONE. Drake Toll next, 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone.